Hey guys, it's me, Melli. Sorry you haven't heard from me in a little while. I have had the worst, the last 3 months, I guess you could say. No, March, April, May, June, July. It's almost August. So 5 months, ever. So that's why you haven't heard from me. I've been going through some stuff. My husband broke his ankle, so he was out of commission. He had to have surgery. I was dealing with all of that. So it kind of became where instead of me having 3 kids, I had 4. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, sorry, but just wanted to give you kind of like a um reason why you haven't heard from me. But that doesn't mean I stopped reading, because I did not stop reading. I don't even remember the last time I did a video. That's how long it's been. So I'm just going to kind of like give you guys a little update. I'm on my tablet. Where's Goodreads? I don't know where the hell my Goodreads is at. Okay. So, while that's loading, so how has everybody been doing? There's like a whole bunch of I hope your summer's been great. Like I said, mine's has been kind of chaotic, I guess you could say. Oh, don't mind the ripped poster on the wall. It was a magazine article, a print, but my lovely 2-year-old decided to climb up. Figured out how to somehow get up and tear it in half. And I have the other piece of it, and I'm eventually going to, fix it. But again, not right there up on the top priority list. Anyway, so just to give you guys a update on my reading challenge for the month. Sorry, for the year. My reading challenge is to read on Goodreads 55 books. And I have so far read 40 of those 55 books. And within the last, I'm going to start from like March, April, maybe. I don't know. My internet's running really slow. But I'll start from March or April. So in April, I read The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I read Dark Witch, the Cousins O'Dwyer trilogy by Nora Roberts. I read The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. I read Shadow Spell by Nora Roberts, which is the second book in the trilogy of the Cousin O'Dwyer. Then I read Blood Magic, which is the third and final book in the trilogy. So for those 5 books, I gave The Raven Boys 5 stars. I gave Dream Thieves 5 stars. I gave Shadow Spell 5 stars. And the only book the only book that got 4 stars was Blood Magic, which is the final book. I don't know. I guess it was, I remember it wasn't that I didn't enjoy the book. It's just that it kind of slowed down a little bit, and it wasn't the ending wasn't as satisfying as I had wanted it to be, because I'm like, okay, it kind of just was like, what happens now that they've, whatever. Like, it just kind of like, the 3 cousins solved the issue that they had, and the curse was lifted or whatever. So then, like, it was kind of like that was it. There was no kind of like, okay, they went on with their lives and this is what they were doing or what's going to happen. Like, there was no way for you to continue to think about, like, oh, is so and so gonna do this, or I wonder if there was no. It was just kind of like, boom, the threat was lifted, the curse was lifted, boom, that's it. Next day, there was no. It was kind of like a, so it was unsatisfying to me. In the month of May, I read Uprooted by Naomi Novik, and I gave that 4 stars. I read The Name of the Star, Shades of London 1 by Maureen Johnson, and I gave that 4 stars. I read Men Without Women by Haruki Murakami, and I give that 4 stars. And then I read My Lady Jane, and I gave that 5 stars. My Lady Jane, that book was hilarious. And most of these were library books. Well, yeah. They were all library books except for The Name of the Star, the Shades of London #1. I owned that book, and I was like, oh, if I like it, I'll continue with the series. But the rest of them were library books. Oh, and then I read Brown Bear, What Do You See? Because, I have a 2-year-old, so I read him that book, and hey, why not put it on my Goodreads list? It's a book, and I read it, so hey, why not? And then I read The Shades of London 2, Madness Underneath, and I gave that 3 stars. And I want to tell you that book was, it was interesting, but it was definitely the middle book syndrome. There was no action. It was more about it was kind of like, okay, what the heck? It was more about it had nothing to do with the point of the first book. It was like, well, what is this? She's going through some kind of depression or withdrawal, and it's just following her and how she copes with it. I don't know. It was good, but it was definitely that middle book syndrome where it was like, okay, there's no plot to it or no action. It was just more of like a placeholder for the third book. Anyway, then in the month of June, March, April, May, June. Yes, June. Sorry. Again, I have mommy brain. In the month of June, I read Royce Rolls, and I gave that 4 stars. And when I tell you that this book made me feel like I was reading a episode of the Kardashians, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I literally stated on, I think it was Goodreads. One of my statuses, let me look at it. One of my statuses basically was something to the gist of, let's see. Oh, I find the idea cool, but I feel like I'm reading an alternate version of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I had tweeted that I hope Mama Chris doesn't, or any one of the sisters or anybody happen to come across this book, because they'll be like, this is our life, and try to sue. Or be like, this is defamation of character. They'll find a way. That's how I felt. I felt like, okay, this is Keeping Up with the Kardashians, except the names were changed and the plot line was changed a little bit, but it was pretty cool. So, but literally, I was just like, okay. It was kind of like a book version of a reality TV show, which is what it was. So let me stop rambling about that. But I'm not a fan of the TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I have watched it, and come on, you mean to tell me nobody's ever not at least come across one episode and was like, there's nothing better on TV to watch, so let's see what happens with them? It's purely entertainment. But yeah. So yeah, that's what I gave that. I mean, it probably could have been better. Then I finished, after a whole year, I finished Outlander. And I gave it 4 stars. And the reason why I gave it 4 stars, not 5, was I liked the story, I liked the book, but it took me literally a whole year to finish it. And there was not any particular reason for it. It was, I had started last summer during my daughter's, my oldest daughter wanted me to read with her while she was doing her summer reading stuff she had to do for school. And I said, okay. And I said, let me just pick up this book because I wanted to see what all the hype was about. And I already owned it. So, and I watched the first episode of this show. And I never continued with it because I was like, I want to read the book first. But I literally, like, took my time with it. And it was because there were some really slow parts. And I had to really be in the mood for it. It was a very dense book. And it wasn't, maybe it was the formatting of the book, I don't know. But it took me a year. And I wanted to finish it so bad. And it was more like, finally I was just sat down and was like, come on, we're going to do this. And I read the last 25% of the book and was like, all right, I'm done. Good. Let's go to number 2. And yeah, we're not even going to get into that yet because I'm still reading number 2. Anyway, then I read The Shadow Cabinet, Shades of London 3. I gave that 4 stars. And basically, I enjoyed it. It was a lot better than the second book, obviously, and it kind of like closed the story. But the first book was my favorite. Like, really, Jack the Ripper. Like, come on now. How do you start out with something so strong and then kind of like dwindle from there? And there's like, no, like, you started out with the idea of Jack the Ripper and then it turned into something totally different. I don't get it. Like, you took something from history, did something from history, and then that was it. Like, you didn't use that idea again through the book, through any of the other books, which is fine. But, like, you're basically just chasing ghosts now. It went from chasing a ghost that, okay, they named him Jack the Ripper, whatever the case may be, the idea, but still, like, it became frustrating to me. But I liked the book. Then I read The Secret of the Old Clock, Nancy Drew number 1, The Hidden Staircase, Nancy Drew number 2. And that's because I have almost the whole series. And yeah, that's my son banging on the door. Anyway, then I read Below by Ryan Lockwood. And I give that 4 stars. And basically, I got that in a Dollar Tree. It was alright. It was about ginormous octopuses. Like, it was just odd. Then I read Shadow of the Wind, The Cemetery of Forgotten Books by Carlos Ruiz Zafran. And I gave that 5 stars. And we're not even going to get into it because that book was just like all kinds of levels of complicated. Then I read Marissa Meyer's Heartless, and I gave that book 5 stars. And I actually waited months and months. I was afraid to read it. And that was because I heard really good things about it, and I heard really bad things about it. And, like, I didn't know how I wanted to feel. Like, I tried not to find anything with spoilers in it. But I was like, okay, I'm going to read this finally. And by the end of it, I was just like, seriously? Like, I wanted to cry. Like, it really made me want to cry. Like, I was like, why? And I'm hoping, even though I know that was a standalone, at least I believe it was a standalone, I think that she should continue the story. Like, that would be awesome. Like, continue with the Queen of Hearts and what she does and what goes on, and somehow fold Alice into it. And it would be, that would be really awesome. And then, like, oh my god, like, Heartless was probably my favorite read so far this year, though. Seriously, like, but this Marissa Meyer we're talking about, and I love the Lunar Chronicles. Anyway, and then I read To Kill a Mockingbird, and I gave that 5 stars, but I haven't read that since I was a kid, like, school-age child, And yeah, I forgot just how many trigger uh points there are in this book. Like, very, obviously racially, it's a racially I don't know how to say it. It's a book based on, obviously we all know the down south lawyer, like the main character's father. She's telling, her story, her summer, or her last 2 summers. Like, she's telling a story of events that have happened to her, and how she doesn't see it the way she sees it through her eyes, and she's given her innocent account of these events. And I'm reading this as an adult, and I'm like, really? Like, how does this still stand true today? These things that are going on, like, it's timeless. It's a very hot, I don't want to say hot topic. It's a very sensitive topic. And as a child, I don't think if you read it in school and you're reading it for the point of the political probably aspect and to learn these different things that's going on. But as an adult reading it, I was like, oh my God, like, nothing has changed in this country. There's still that racial divide. There's still that, the same crap going on. Like, dude, it was just like, ugh. I felt the same way about To Kill a Mockingbird as I felt about The Help, and that was, we're still seeing these things going on today, and like, it's frustrating to me to see them. So it's a trigger warning. Like, if you get upset about racial discrimination and things like that, this is obviously, this is not a book for you, but it's a lesson, because the book is told through a child's eyes, and the things that she's kind of sees and goes on is normal to her. I mean, she knows that there are things that are wrong, but it's normal. Like, in her world, these things are normal. And, she wants to make a difference, but she doesn't know how. She's not told how to, because that's not the way things are done. Then I just finished this book last night. I read Before the Fall. And when I tell you, the ending to this book had me at 1 o'clock in the morning with my jaw down here. Down here. I was like, it really was a big buildup. It was the stories. It was everything that had happened that day leading up to the event of what happened, and the cops at the same time, the FBI and whomever else, trying to figure out what the hell happened, why it happened, and why there were only 2 survivors, and this, that, and the other. And then when they find out what happened and why it happened, and it was, without giving the spoilers, it was senseless. It was stupid. Why? The reason why it happened. Like, really? It was a senseless act of why this plane crashed. Like, I was just like, really? Like, it couldn't have been something more dramatic? I mean, it was dramatic, don't get me wrong. It really was dramatic. Because you were like, really? But, I mean, it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. They made you think it was, the author, I should say, not they. The author and the story made you think it was going to be one thing. And it turns out, and it is totally something totally different that you would not have expected. And it was like, okay, wow. That's a good story. When you're totally going one way with the story, thinking this is what's going to happen, and then the author goes, nope, 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 nope. That is not the way this is going down. That's a good book. And, I mean, the ending kind of fell, like, the very, very ending. Like, the reason for the whole book, the crash, the build up to it was awesome. The reason for it was awesome. The last page of the book, though, it was kind of like the one survivor. He was just like, it was like, oh, okay. Like it just kind of ended. Like they found out, the FBI found out, but the survivors did not find out the reason for this crash and what happened and why it happened. Like it was like, okay, we're gonna start. He kind of the one survivor kind of just realizes after doing a TV interview to kind of explain his side of things of why people are thinking he's guilty of something. And he's like, no, this is not going to happen. I'm going to step up. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to be like, look, this is who I am. I did a good thing. I don't know why I survived. But they never really find out why the whole thing happened. Which is fine. Because, I mean, whatever, you imagine that part. Like, the FBI, the Secret Service, I don't know, Homeland Security also was the, National Treasury, all the security people of the government and the FAA and all that. The authorities. I guess we have to imagine that they went and told the survivor, the one adult survivor of the story, what happened. And we take it from there. But when I tell you that everything is not what it seems in this book, it really is not. Everything is not what it seems in this book. Anyway, and now I'm reading Under the Moon by Natalie J. Damschroeder? Can you see that? I don't think you could. Wait. Can you see it now? I want to say it's like Damschroeder. Damschroeder. Sounds like a curse word. Okay, anyway. So that's what I'm reading now. And I actually bought this in the Dollar Tree. And I bought it for the cover. I buy a lot of my books in the Dollar Tree. Anyway. That's it for now. That would be my bookish update. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry, my lighting is really horrible. I hope you've had fun on this journey of this boring book update, what I've read since March. And I'll try to post more often, guys, but like I said, just life in general is crazy. So, if you hadn't heard, my son banging at the door for a minute. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll try to get, back into a regular schedule. If, time permits. If not, you'll get another update in another couple months to see where I went with my reading. I wanted to tell you something, guys, real quick. I stopped doing a TBR because I never stuck to them. 1. 2, I'm a mood reader. I've discovered that I am a mood reader. Whatever I feel like I'm in the mood for. Like, that's how I read now. I can't set myself a goal. My only goal right now that I set myself is to read what I already have. Do not buy any more books, obviously, for financial reasons. Like, I don't save some money. Dollar Tree, I could find some really good books in the Dollar Tree. But I'm on a book buying ban. Read what I already have is my goal. Read books I've had more than a year. And as I read them, I'll collect a few if I know it's not ones I want to keep. And I will donate them to the used bookstore so I can get store credits with them to give to my daughter. For when she might need a book for school and stuff. This is what I did last year. I'm going to do it again this year for school. So, anyway, that's it. Guys, I will talk to you soon, hopefully. And I will, happy reading.